afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our MSME Masterclass. Today's session addresses a problem that is both widespread and under-discussed: why projects get stuck before construction even begins. Long before materials arrive on site, delays are often locked in through fragmented planning, approval bottlenecks, and poor coordination across stakeholders. In many cases, what appears as an execution delay is in fact a failure on pre-construction discipline. To unpack this, we are joined by someone who has spent over 4 decades working across the full life cycle of construction projects. Mr. Tarun Motta, partner at Teearch, brings more than 40 years of experience in the real estate and construction industry. A civil engineer and registered surveyor, he has been closely involved in project planning, approvals, and execution across a wide range of building projects. His work centers on delivering integrated design and engineering solutions with a strong emphasis on efficiency, regulatory compliance, and sustainable practices. More importantly, his experience is grounded in end-to-end execution, from navigating approvals to ensuring smooth on-ground delivery, giving him a clear view of where and why projects tend to stall before construction begins. In today's session, he will share practical insights on how MSMEs can anticipate bottlenecks early, strengthen planning discipline, and ensure a smoother transition from project conception to execution. Thank you so much for joining us today, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, sir, my first question to you is, what are the most common reasons that projects fail to move from planning to execution?
Yes, I have a lot of experience in this field from last 40 years, and I know there are so many reasons that due to which the project hampers. Some common reason I can tell you. The one thing is restricting the height of the building and restriction of development itself. Both in the month of in the year 2009, I think some laws came in defense department that you have to obtain the NOC for each and every proposals. But what happened before after that? Till 2009 to 2016, no policy came introduced. All proposals were stuck up. Buildings were demolished. Tenants were enrolled, and no reconstruction permission were granted by the government. After a lot of human cry, the government realized, and government thereafter agreed to relief. Even central government not agreed to relief. The state government taken a risk and agreed to relief some of the development, and they permitted the development from defense boundary till 10 meters. Otherwise, the law was restricted to 500 meters. Till 500 meters, no development is granted to anything. Now, because of that, the development is permitted. Again, in 2025, they stopped. They stopped all the buildings, and now they are insisting that NOC should be insisted. There is no relief to these questions. There is no relief from central government side or state government side. And again, people are suffering. There are more than 500 buildings which are not getting redevelopment permissions for all surrounding the entire boundary. And the funny part is that the entire land, majority land of defense are vacant. There are some only residence quarters. So I don't know what is human cry by defense department. Even our judges from High Court and Supreme Courts are not able to give the judgment when defense people stop the permissions. They are also stuck up. Their defense security, nobody want to interfere. So this is the main problem of policies. Similarly, one more example I will give you. They have restricted the height of development due to civil evasions. Height restrictions at Teearch and Zoo. They have started with 42 meter. Earlier there was no limit, but now they have reduced to 42 meter because of they want to put some cordless tower. We have given a lot of suggestion to them that we will construct a tower and give you, and then you put their equipment above that tower, but they have not agreed. Yet that problem is not solved. I have examples that lot of buildings were demolished by the members. Today they are on road because even today, from 2019 to 2026, 7 years passed. and no development is permitted by the corporation for more than that restricted heights. And lot of projects are developed. All the tenants, they are not getting rent, nor they are getting flats. Since the building is demolished and the rules came afterwards, so we always feel that that whether we are in democratic country or otherwise, because the restrictions it's come immediately. They don't permit to, or they don't give time. Like other countries, there is a time limit that any restriction comes, any law comes, it's valid for 12 months. It's made applicable only after 12 months. They give suggestion, objections, and then only they give time limit also, that you complete your project within that stipulated time, and then only that law comes. In India, it is not there. It is coming on the one single night itself, that from tomorrow this is the law, and that is putting.
Got it. So my next question to you is, where do approval bottlenecks typically arise? Is it permits, design sign-offs, or financing?
It is. I can say that it is everywhere. Every time it is planning to financing all the sites.
Okay.
Even I have seen the whenever interpretation comes, whenever regular interpretations in the regulation itself, we as an architect or developer thinks in positive way, and the government on other side or corporation thinks in negative way, and therefore there is no solution. Once we take meeting, we get the solution, and after 2, 3, 5 months, again for other proposals, there is another interpretation that now this interpretation is not applicable to this plot. That is the reason where all the redevelopment proposal or development proposal are stuck up, because they are stuck up for undefinite time. The interest burden increase and financially becomes unviable after some time. So this is the problem of bureaucracy. Our systems is not working properly. I'm from last 42 years. We have modified so many policies, but still result is same, and we are not getting better results.
So how do incomplete or evolving project scopes delay construction start dates?
So normally what happens, once project delay for any reasons, the interest burden increase, and the viability goes. The licensing fund first, the licensing architect prepare a drawing. Designing architect prepare a drawing, then you will go to licensing. Licensing architect prepare a municipal drawings. Then we take NOC of fire, then we take NOC from traffic, then we submit the proposal to corporation. And corporation will come with a different interpretation of the regulations. And entire proposal becomes zero. Again, we have to, like football, we have to come with zero, start from redesigning and resubmissions. So this is the undefinite period, cycle. This is the vicious cycle which we are not able to come out of these cycles, and that is the reason of delay in constructions and incomplete interpretations.
And what role, according to you, does inaccurate cost estimation play in pre-construction delays?
This is also very important. See, the person who is not attached to licensing work, he don't understand the actual costing payable to corporation. Normally, 35 to 40% of the sale component goes in making payment to corporation. There are so many heads, more than 60, 70 heads. Because of all the different heads, they are not able to judge that what payment is required to be paid at what level. Similarly, every year corporation increase 10% rise in their scrutiny fees, development charges, in their whatever their circular, as per circular, that also become unviable. It is again attached to the ready reckoner rate. Now whenever ready reckoner rate changes, this creates a problem, because then the proposal absolutely, the ready reckoner price increase between 5% to 20%, and proposal become immediate non-viable, because then nobody knows how so estimating is very important. And the perfect estimate can be done only by a licensing architect or licensing civil engineer who is day-to-day touch with corporation. Any other person will do costing will go haywire.
And so, how often do land related issues like titles, clearances, or disputes stall projects?
Yeah, this is unsolvable problem. Title problem is always from years together. There also, if you see, no, in 2005, suddenly the law was modified by Supreme Court for the uh, benefit of the family. Whenever property belongs to forefathers, all these sons and daughters, everybody has right in the properties. Earlier, prior to 2005, that was not there. Earlier, now suddenly that is came, and now if the land is purchased by anybody, and that legal is challenged, okay, my signature is not there, proposal is stuck up. We don't have regular systems which the foreign countries follows. They always make, whenever any person died, they always put a legal entry who are the legal owners after verifying all the documents. The system is not there. Here, the one project starts, and immediately you will find one day that somebody went to court, somebody is obstructing physically on site, and we are not able to work physically. The money was paid, plans are approved, 35% is already invested to corporation by way of different payments, premiums, and work is sufferer. So there is no clear-cut guidelines that even whenever such landlord goes to court grants stay to them, stating that title is not there. So this problem is always remain. I think now government is trying to organize systems. Last week only government has announced that we will bring the title certificate along with the land to each and every properties. So when that will introduce by government, then only it seems that this problem will solve. Otherwise, this is unsolvable problems.
And so, where do coordination gaps emerge between architects, consultants, and contractors?
Here what happens? The designing architect make a drawing as per their designs. The licensing architect prepares the drawings as per the requirement of corporation. So there is modification comes. When we submit the drawing to corporation suggests further modifications. The drawings are changing. Now the designing architect drawings are not modified by these contractors. So they issue the drawings to contractors based on the earlier designs, and that is going to misfire. And moreover, there are so many other consultants which are involved in the project at later stage. For example, MEP consultant, landscaping consultant, electric consultant, they come at later stage. Their requirement is required to be fulfilled in the planning, and that for which plan is not approved. So again, you have to submit all the plans to corporation. There are so many technical data changes in the equipment systems. For example, STP plant, there is a modification in the system of STP plant itself. There are so many technologies coming day to day, which modified. The size of the STP plant differs with the different modifications. Innovations always take care of the builder always find if good quality of STP plant given to the buyer for a long lasting, that will be better. So for that reason, the difference in coordination between all the consultants on site physically, this creates a problem. So it is always advisable that a weekly meeting or 2 weekly meeting has to be kept with all the consultants physically on site, so that this problem can be tackled properly. Otherwise, this problem is going to remain there.
Understood. How does delayed decision making by clients or developers impact timelines?
Any project require timelines because of the financial control. The project start. Why developer take a project to earn something? So if there is no earning or very small earning, which will lose either in administrative cost or in interest cost, then the project suffers. So always it is always advisable that the decision of development has to be taken by the developers in time. Now, as we explained earlier, there are so many policies which interferes, and if the developer is not able to control that in time limit, because it is not in his hand. He has to go to central government. Either he has to go to central government, get that clarification corrected, then only he can come forward. Otherwise, he will not be able to do it. So policies and restrictions from time to time are hindrance. Similarly, if you find there was indigent is converted to SDZ in 2018 sanctioned decree. Now in 2024, the government has scrapped the entire provisions. Now whatever developer who had taken the land for NT zone or SD zone for development, they are all stuck up. Because not a single proposal was approved between 18 and 24. And after 24, they have scrapped the entire regulation. So this is also a big problem. And developer, it is not in hand of the developer, but still, so developer has to perform a lot of roles. He has to take a finance, only at later stage is always advisable. From initial stage, he take the loan and make the payment to corporation for approving the plan. The project is going to toss, and developer has to suffer from pillar to post, and rather he has to go for bad debt.
Now, sir, what are the typical mistakes that MSMEs can make during planning and tendering?
See, MSME have no experience at early stage, and they purchase the land. Once they purchase the land, and if any of the problem occurs, they also don't know how to get solutions. So only experienced consultant, if they approach to experienced consultant on payment of little higher fees, they can solve these problems. MSME is always new. They are new to the field, therefore they are MSME. So it is advisable to take a right consultant, right architects, right advocates to solve their problems.
And how do frequent design changes in early stages of a project affect the project readiness?
As explained earlier, design architect prepare a drawing, municipal architect prepare a municipal drawings. When we go to corporations come with different interpretation in policies, we come with different regulations. There are so many regulations which collide each other, and because of there is no clarity on small things. I give simple examples that for the school development you need 40% to be open. Height is restricted to 45 meters. The road is required, earlier was 9 meter, 12 meter. Government itself proposed a school development on 9 meter and 12 meter. And now they say if you want to consume above 30 to 45 meter, you need 18 meter road. So they are all stuck up. Again, we have to go to UD department, get the clarification, which is available, not available, we don't know. Where, up to what time it is available. So this all delay creates a lot of problems.
And what impacts do you think unclear or incomplete technical specifications play, or have an impact on mobilization?
So when we award the contract to any company, the first thing is specifications. Now specification comes out of the which technology they are adopting for which items. Now there are so many changes. It happens so fast that you plan something for one technology, and by the time we execute, the technology changes, and either it increase the cost or increase the size, or that much land is not available to complete. Say for example, STP plants or water tank or fire tank, the land is not available because corporation insists fire regulations, parking regulations, land on RG. There is no space available to provide the amenities, and this is creating a lot of problem in understanding at initial stage, because this problem starts once you execute the work. So initially, if we address this problem, then we can control the things in our end. But initially, it's very difficult to control because initially the focus is only on planning and approvals, and there is no focus on the estimating and other items. This item comes only when the project takes off above plinth level, and then there is no space available and create a problem for developers.
So moving on, how do financing challenges or credit delays prevent projects from taking off?
This is actually a banker's problem, because every project or every developer, including small developers or large developers, they are totally depending on only bank finance or institute finance to complete their project. Whenever the delay for any restrictions comes, then the problem starts. Interest is a heavy burden. Even if any project delayed for 4 years, you will be in loss, because interest burden cannot be sustained by any developer. There is no much profit. Lot of competition is going on in the market today. Lot of lands are available for redevelopment. Each and every building want their redevelopment building to be done, because majority of the buildings are constructed at that time between 1960 and 1990, and all the buildings were 30 years over and they will come for development, and therefore the financial is a very crucial issue, and it goes toss. Because initially what happened, when you go for corporation for approving the plan, you require 35% of the project cost only payable to corporation in this initial stage. Then the interest burden starts from their limit, and financial credit goes away.
So, to what extent do you think regulatory changes or compliance gaps delay the project execution?
The regulation is changing because of the different interpretation, different restrictions. I have given the example of school. Similarly, example of ND zones. They will scrap the rules. So this is creating a lot of problems. Whenever there is no clarity while you start the work, you should have full clarity. Then only you invest. Otherwise, don't invest. The people are not able to understand their risk in this business at initial stage. They go ahead. Once they involve, put some money, and their project stuck up. Because of the change in policies, for example, I'd given you the example of Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Civil Aviation Heights, ND zones. They're all restrictions. They are stuck up. Immediately once work starts, and the project stuck up. For some or other reasons, the project don't go in correct way. So here what happened? I tell you, in 2016 draft DC regulation came in force, and 2018 November it is sanctioned by government and put in force. In between, we have suggested the government that once the CC is granted for any project, the same project has to be completed as per the plan approved by corporation, and thereafter it should not stop for any reason. Government is not accepted that our suggestions, because what happened? This is the main problem or culprit of the points. One project starts, building demolished, and then problems creates, and there is no solution for years together. It is not that we have to suffer for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. No, for 10 years, 9 years, 6 years, there is no solutions. So here the delay in decisions or delay in regulatory changes comes into force. What we need practically a very clear-cut guidelines. Once plan is approved, it has to be completed. Whether any regulation superseded or not superseded, that regulation has to come in law.
Right. Now, sir, how does the lack of standardization in processes affect project readiness?
Standardization, see, in Bombay particularly, there are a lot of regulations which are cross to each other. Every typical plot on the same law, interpretation required and changes. So it is very difficult. I don't think standardization is possible in Bombay. You use any AI, every time it is very difficult to regulate the standardized position. We are trying. We have suggested government, we have suggested corporation, we adopt this policy, that policy. But because different project, same policy cannot be applied to the another building. Because of the change in regulation, change in size of the plot, change in dimension of the plot, change in location of the plot, we have a lot of different in culture, different in language, or different in food habits. So that all creates a problem while deciding the issues. Finally, I don't think the standardized positions can be done by successfully done in except you have a very common regulations for and very reduced regulations, not so many regulations which collide each other. Then only standardization can work.
And what early warning signals indicate a project is likely to get stuck before construction?
No, initially it is very difficult. Initially, people understand that this project is going to stuck. He will not put hands, or he don't have to go ahead. He has to cut there and there only. When he purchases the plot, he goes start the development, and then only regulation changes. It is not in his hand. It is beyond his control. Very difficult to signal. Only experienced people in this field from last 30-40 years can visualize, because visualization is art, is a business key which everybody is not able to understand. Particularly the newcomers, they only see the builders are very earning, very profitable business. They don't understand the risk and involved in this business.
Okay. And so how can MSMEs improve planning discipline to ensure smoother project kickoffs?
This goes with the earlier question, standardization. When we cannot standardize standardizations, it is difficult to go smooth projects. It is never possible, because every project or every building has different interpretation, different guidelines, different controlling systems, different approving systems. So it is very difficult that we cannot discipline the project or kick off in time. I don't think it is even MSME or any person cannot work systems like this. A very complicated procedure. Even outside Bombay people, when they comes for any advice, when they see a lot of problems, lot of complications, they half the persons are getting mad that these complications are very difficult. Only because we understand, because we have a large experience and we related to the problems, we have gone through the question answer, we have gone through the suggestion, so we can understand that how solutions can be found out. Otherwise, difficult.
So moving on, what role can digital tools or platforms play in reducing pre-construction delays?
So some detail, yes. There are so many AI are available, AI so many available, which when you put the data, they will give you all the construction details. We have to feed the required amenities or additional amenities what we are providing, height of the building, width of the plot, like that. Then they will give you all the data. Here they are more successful in estimating the project cost or detail engineering required for construction industries through that channel.
Okay. How should MSMEs structure contracts and documentation to avoid ambiguity later on?
Again, it is the same questions related, because what happened once design architect design the building, municipal architect get the plans as required by corporation, so there are changes created. When they go to corporation gives another suggestion that this cannot be approved. These are the problems. When we incorporate all these problems, the same thing MSME should face, because there is no coordination between all the consultants, and MSME also don't understand very fast. They require time to decide the things in a proper way. I don't think this is very healthy point for discussions and getting approvals.
Now, sir, my last question to you is, what best practices ensure a faster transition from project approvals to on-ground execution?
The online system as introduced by government is a welcome suggestion. But because of the interpretation of regulations, even online is not working. If you see all the proposals when go to commissions for approvals, you can find there are there are notes written there. There are so many suggestions either given by corporation and so many refusal points given by corporation. So, and corporation also cannot make a standardized policy for each and every law, because the project wise the interpretation differs in the law. This is the complications. Very. So best practice is one thing is very clear. If once plan is approved by corporation, no other law should made applicable to stop the work. He has to complete the project and go away. Government or any government notification circular shall not supersede or stop the construction ongoing project. Then that security at least will be available to the existing member, that now they are able to get their house. Otherwise, very difficult. The restriction of let down, all the notifications come yesterday night and is made applicable from today morning. This policy has to be gone away. One more thing, the government should keep a meeting for corporation, every monthly meeting where you can discuss the problem and solve the problems. Here undefinite problem is arisen. Commissioner has refused the file, but then how to solve the files, there is no guidance for that. So if you introduce some policy that every 15 days this policy or that policy or this clarification, any clarifications either given by corporation or by government. Here what when the corporation gives the direction, government says that I have to look after the entire so many states in Maharashtra. It is not the only Bombay is required to be seen. So there is a dispute. Any suggestion gone from corporation to government will take at least 1 year to 2 years to issue the clarification. This way very difficult. So if some machinery to be paid, to be framed, that online system only, that you put a questions and government or corporations give a solutions in the stipulated time, within some reasonable time, then only faster this thing is possible. Otherwise very difficult, because this technology is already introduced in the construction industry. Now construction industry, so many technologies available. You can do the fast work as per your finance capacity. You can complete the project. Even 40-story project can be completed in 1 year if you have good finance in your hands. So the faster decisions by all the bureaucracies, governments and ministers will solve the problem. Or alternative, one more suggestion, that they give the power to architect to approve the plans as per the present understanding. But then there is a red line in between that all different architects interpret the law in different way and they approve the plans in different way, which government may not agree to that plan. And once work starts, it's very difficult to rectify. So this is also not possible. I don't know how to solve it.
And that brings us to the end of today's discussion. So thank you so much for being with us and for sharing your insights on why do construction projects get stuck before the construction actually begins.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
For our attendees who are online, if you've missed any part of today's episode, please go on YouTube, type JSW One MSME, and you'll find all our episodes uploaded there. Thank you once again, sir. Bye-bye.